It's not. Howdy, everybody.
There you go. You go. Happy U.S. Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, America.
Do y'all in Canada celebrate your Thanksgiving as fervently as we do in the States?
No.
No, they're very different holidays.
Very quiet up here.
Ours is just food.
It's just dinner.
It's thankful for
Rest
the
of the day
end
is the
of
same as any
harvest.
other.
Here's some food.
Yeah.
It's not like the American one. The American one has all the history part to it. Ours does not.
True
and then you guys have the Black Friday thing. Here, like American Thanksgiving seems to be pre-Christmas.
I mentioned in a news video today, though.
Separate.
We now have Black Friday in Canada.
It's
why?
Weird. So one of the yarn groups I'm on had a Black Friday on, and it started like on Monday, and there was an American saying, "Oh, it's the wrong day." Okay, we're not in the States, country. So we don't care. We'd have to look at the calendar to see when American Thanksgiving is to know when the actual Black Friday is. So the date doesn't actually matter.
Adidas Canada was doing Black Friday stuff last weekend.
Yeah.
And
then they do the
Sport
Black
Check started
Friday.
A couple days ago.
I see the Black Friday stuff in the middle of summer sometimes too.
Yeah.
So it doesn't actually matter. It's not a real holiday. So.
No, I said in the news video this morning, eventually it's just going to be a Black Friday once a month.
What's the history of American Thanksgiving?
Back in 1812.
It's about the colonizing of the States by Christopher Columbus, isn't it? The Pilgrims.
Kind of. And then there's the War of 1812 version.
No, we don't have that part. Ours is just yay food. That's all Canadian Thanksgiving is.
True enough.
And it's in early October because there's not much growing now, even in this part of Canada where we're a lot warmer than the rest of it.
No, Bun, it's Meg.
Oh, did you get a real Storm jersey or is it a kit?
No, this is a real one. A subscriber sold this one to me. So I bought this one. See, I don't have anything, sweetie. And so, yeah, I'm pretty happy. It's my Grail jersey. And it's now part of the collection. So quite happy.
Shannon's calling it American Thanksgiving. Ha, ha, ha. I know, but America's like half of the world and only one country in this whole half of the world celebrates.
Yeah, but we generally say Americans.
Yeah, well, because they took it. So.
Yeah. I mean, we could say Canadian Americans, but that would just throw people off. Because technically, we're in America.
Right. It's whole half of the world.
Can America?
Do you still got the sniffles? You must be talking about Shannon, because I always do. Shannon, yes.
A little bit. Not very much. I did just finish the treadmill for today, though, and I went faster today. I did it between 5.7 and 6.1 miles an hour. Because I wanted to get it done in time for this.
I'm bad at knowing how fast that is in miles.
It's about 20 kilometers an hour.
No, it's not.
Sure it is.
No, it's not.
You got it. Multiply it by 3.
No.
Yeah, you multiply it by 3. Yes. Of course. So I'm gonna get so I've got an Atlanta Thrashers for the helmet decals. I'm gonna use these for Jets games. Don't tell Jets fans that I'm using Atlanta Thrashers numbers, please. So just be between me and the live stream. I don't think Winnipeg's in here yet, so we're good.
How old is Bunny?
2. They just turned 2. Both of those. No, that's right. Cinnabon's not yet.
It's not Cinnabon and Waffle's birthday yet. Pickle and Dandelion are
2.5.
Yeah, they will be 3 in
April.
March. Isn't their birthday in March? And then Licorice and Jet just had their first birthday. They were born. Second birthday. That's right. Second birthday. They were born the day before Diwali 2 years ago.
Yep.
And then Cinnabon and Waffles have their birthday in December. So there you go.
I'm excited about
That's how old all the rabbits are. Right now we have bunnies that are 1 year old, 2 years old, and 3 years old.
Yeah, the first litter and second litter were about 5 weeks apart.
They are exactly 5 weeks apart.
So, which was great because the babies were born and Adelaide had to go to her dad's the next night. She was so upset.
She was so upset.
Brand new bunnies and you got to go. What?
She was not happy.
No, not at all. Now, if I use a Thrasher's magnet at the top of the board when I do a Jets review, would that be too much?
I mean, it doesn't bother me, but I know some Jets fans are kind of
You think so?
whiny about that.
Should I say Gary thought it was a good idea?
There you go.
Gary wanted me to throw it out there as a test. I could say Gary sent me these magnets.
Where
works.
is Bear? I think she's in the bedroom, isn't she?
She's right there.
Oh, I can see her. Yeah.
She was on the treadmill. So after I do the treadmill, it's really, really warm. And so the cats come over to hang out on the treadmill after I'm done with it.
Thrashers low-key have one of the best color schemes.
Yep. No argument there.
Nice jerseys too.
Yep, they are. They're very nice jerseys. Okay, I should have room for them for these. So I'm doing more of these.
What's your favorite food item in a Thanksgiving dinner?
Turkey. I have to be turkey. Although mashed potatoes and gravy is fantastic too.
I do really like turkey.
Has to be the right kind of gravy though.
That's true. Has to be turkey gravy.
My dad had to throw beef bouillon into the gravy, and it's like, Dad, stop it.
Funny watching a Canadian channel on Thanksgiving. You're welcome.
I got a Canadian channel on my TV too.
Some Canada.
That's right. Eh?
Cranberry is great. I love cranberry sauce. I like my cranberry sauce anyways.
I'm not a cranberry person.
It's like turkey though. I like the way I cook turkey.
I wasn't a fan of the band either.
Oh, I like the cranberries.
I know. I was never a fan of the cranberries.
I know.
That stupid song gets stuck in your head, which is ironic since that's what the song says over and over and over again.
You said you have one bunny 1 year old. You must mean 1 year old. It's singular, but there's 2 rabbits. So there you go. You're welcome. Happy butt fumble anniversary John Candy movie.
Butt fumble.
Are you excited for Doctor Who?
I am. I'm curious to know where I'm going to be able to watch it in Canada. I know it should be on Disney Plus, but right now Disney Plus doesn't have any of the Doctor Who on the Canadian service. So I have some concerns because, I want to watch the old Doctor Who as well. I want to watch the 50th anniversary episode again. Now the 60th coming up. So yeah, I'm really excited for it and hope it goes well.
Lots of cranberries in Aldergrove. There's a lot of cranberries all around us. There's a bunch out in Langley. There's some out in between Chilliwack and Hope. I forget. See, it's been a while since Thanksgiving. I forget where ours were from. I think ours were from Aldergrove this year. I forget.
You don't even remember where our cranberries are from? Man.
The specific bag that I bought? No, I don't remember.
Man, you just can't create memories.
That was like a month and a half ago.
You should still remember where you got them.
I do remember where I got them. I got them at the market.
Well, then you know where you got them from. So that's where they're from, the market. Problem solved.
Oh my goodness.
What's oh my goodness? Did something fun happen?
If each cat rooted for a team, which team would they pick?
Cats? We used to speculate that Bear was a Ducks fan.
Yeah, I know somebody had decided that. I don't even remember why or anything like that.
I don't know. Shadow, I think, would just cheer for whoever I cheered for. He just his dad happy.
I was going to say Shadow would cheer for the Bruins.
Who I also cheer for.
Yeah, see, it totally works.
Yeah. You're not saying it because he's sneaky, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Some people's kids, I swear.
Let's see, Pixel. Habs. I guess Pixel would like the Habs.
Pixel would cheer for anything hockey. To me, she'd be the cat that's most likely to not watch hockey. To be happy watching something else.
Let me see. In Azrael, who would she like?
Something flashy, lots of lights. So
Vegas. Let's see. And then Maple.
I have to be the Toronto Maple Leafs because that's part of her name right there. So she'd think that was pretty cool.
There you go. That's
She'd think the team was named after her. That's great. We should try to get her face on the front of a jersey. Should Photoshop something up, send that to the team, see if they'll wear it as a special to her jersey.
Of all of our cats, she would be the most difficult to have on the front of a jersey.
Well, they could just color her blue. Just take the black parts, make them blue.
Then you would never guess it was Maple.
Sure you would, because it'll say Maple right over top.
Oh, goodness.
And then on the back it would say Leaves, and it'd be her backside. So Maple Leaves. Her backside on the back. What? Maple Leaves.
I
think it works.
Yep, got it.
Does it work or not? I think it works.
I see several people saying, I just got here. Have you talked about? The answer is no, not yet. We just started.
I haven't talked about anything unless it was in the news videos today.
There you go.
In which case, yes, if I talked about it in the news videos already.
90s Detroit got 60 wins. Next year Cup, now Bruins.
I mean, it'd be great if it happened. I'm not betting on it though, because A, I don't bet, and B, I still think come playoff time there are some weaknesses there with Boston's team. I got yapped out a lot about that before the last playoffs, but they were out in the first round. So anyways, hopefully come playoff time, guys like Poitras and Beecher are playing as well as they are now.
Appreciate all your hard work. Lots of love from Kelowna.
Thank you. Hey, Bun.
Do you like this old Tampa Bay logo better than the new one? I sure miss this logo.
I think that if they did a version of this logo on their current jersey, I think that would look really, really nice. They could simplify it. Their current jersey does have kind of a Red Wings look and a Toronto color scheme. So that's been talked about a lot.
Bun poking my foot. He's poking my foot. Blues are 9-0 now after scoring first goal in games. Huge part of their success. If the Blues are in the playoff picture by trade deadline, what player do you think they would go after?
If they're still in the playoff picture by the time we get to the trade deadline, they'll probably look for somebody to beef up the middle and probably on the blue line as well. Okay, I'll put you down. All right. He's digging. Dad. And he's running away from me, kicking his feet at me too.
Oh, have a fun tea. I do. I haven't started my tea though. I got my tea. It's still steeping though. I just made it.
So that was licorice for anybody who doesn't know. One of the animals that I was talking to TSN about because the TSN host was asking me, what did you do with your day off? Because you didn't have any games. I said, we spoiled our animals. We went to the new pet store and
my kids think it's the best pet store ever.
And then the guy asked me, how do you spoil your animals? And I'm like, treats and toys and all kinds of stuff.
It's true.
Yeah.
New bed.
Yep.
Pixel has claimed.
Yep. Yeah, we knew she was going to claim that.
Have you been to a game in Sunrise?
Nope. We haven't been to Florida.
Okay, I was going to say, where's Sunrise?
Sunrise, Florida. Panthers.
The city's name is Sunrise?
Yep.
I don't think I knew that.
Yep. Yeah, they're not in Miami. The initial plan was to have them in Miami, but
maybe
they ended up in Sunrise.
Black licorice is the best. I do like black licorice.
I like black licorice too, but I see, the thing is, like, I think red licorice I like more, but it's harder to eat a lot of black licorice, and you always regret it if you do. So if you're trying to watch the calorie side, I find the red licorice is far worse than the black. Because, yeah, you don't want to eat too much black licorice. Not very happy for the next couple of days if you do.
How does Shannon spoil Yvonne? Oh, he's giggling way too much. He does randomly get things for me. Shannon's a pretty awesome husband.
Jewelry and, stuff from Disney and random surprises. And so if I'm ordering stuff and if I know she hasn't had anything to eat that day, I'll just order her something. I don't tell her. I just order her something.
Who did you have an interview with?
It was Matthew Cause, and I think it's called Gameplay. It's on TSN 1050. They did post about it. Did we post it on the community page yet?
Nope, because I didn't have a link for it.
Oh.
If you give me a link, I can post it in all the places.
All the places, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Even the dark web.
Dork.
No.
No, we haven't watched the Canadian Bake Off finale yet.
No.
With so
No
many games and things going so late, we don't have very much time to watch things at night right now.
Yeah, this is true.
Especially on days when I have to wake up really early because I have to drive children places. So, can we please petition for Brass Bonanza as the Canucks' new goal song?
Why would we want the Hartford Whalers goal song? All we'd think of is the Hartford Whalers.
I would like a different goal song.
I would like anything other than what we have.
It is.
My fear is now they have footage of Meghan Markle dancing to it.
That means
so
they won't want to get rid of it.
That means
It's
that
a
they'll
lame
put
goal
that in
song.
there.
If we could go back to Green Day, that'd be great. Or I have other suggestions that are not boring. That sounds
I had a whole
boring.
video on songs that I thought could work for goal songs, and that was kind of part of the inspiration was that Vancouver's still using Simple Minds. So
it's not a fun goal song.
No.
No discussion on Monty going 79-13-8 in his first 100 games with the Bees.
Nope. They lost in the first round, and I mean, Boston's had a really great run. It's been fantastic. I don't get into a lot of the milestone stuff that's of that nature. It's kind of a niche milestone, and then there's a lot of comments of, well, why don't you talk about this? Well, you're talking about that because it's a Bruins record. So why don't you talk? Last week the Islanders did this, and I just don't talk a lot about that stuff.
If we had Holiday back as a goal song, everyone would be happy.
We have it here in Abbotsford.
Song. Yes,
it's great.
It's great.
It's fantastic.
There's so many songs that would be better. That it's just so.
Yeah. Yeah, we could use. There's various Green Day songs we could use.
Or there's various Canadian bands that would work fantastic.
Not Blue Rodeo.
No.
No, not Blue Rodeo.
Would I ever suggest Blue Rodeo for anything
when I was a kid watching Much Music, which of course is videos. So back in the day, we didn't have YouTube, so I'd have to watch videos on Much Music, internet. And it would always be ruined by Blue Rodeo. I'd be like, "Oh, this is a good song. This is a good one too." And this is great. All kinds of it's Blue Rodeo. Damn it! And to this day, I'm watching like the retro channel, and I'll be like, "Hey, this is a good retro. I like that." Blue Rodeo. Damn it! Why is it Blue Rodeo? I didn't know anybody that listened to them. I couldn't figure it out.
No.
I knew nobody that listened to Blue Rodeo.
Buffalo doesn't make the playoff this year. Do the Sabres fire Granado?
Yeah. I think I'll go as far as to say if Buffalo is below 500 at the halfway mark of the season, there'll be rumblings about what they might do, because Buffalo needs to make the playoffs. They need to get some kind of energy in that market. They need their fans to believe in the team. I totally get why fans don't. And this was supposed to be a better year, and it just hasn't been.
Shannon and I saw Dancing to the Goal song last season. No surprise. If we're at a game, we definitely dance to the gold music.
Oh, at the Abbotsford game?
I make my kids dance to the gold music. They usually kind of roll their eyes at me.
Yeah, at the Abbotsford games, absolutely. And I even do the hip bump.
Yeah.
See, I got it stuck in my head now. It's a perfect Holiday is a perfect goal song. And so Vancouver was like, nah, give it to Abbotsford. All right. Okay. What would I use a How You Doing magnet for?
I have no idea. Happy Turkey Day. And happy Thursday to you.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
I need turkey. I should make some turkey. That sounds great.
Well, what do I use this one for?
Coyotes should move Carl Vejmelka and have Ingram Velata.
Vejmelka, he had rough starts last year too. I don't think there's a desire to move on yet for Arizona. I think they have plans to stay in the playoff hunt a little bit longer. It's pretty wide open in the West. And I think there's a belief Vejmelka will turn it around. Well, would I use this one for anything?
No.
Maybe if I wasn't going
you can't
commando?
even tell what that is.
You can't tell what it is. There's
too much detail on it, so it's really hard to see.
You have too much detail on it.
Can we have a house tour? I'm going to Boston, Detroit tomorrow and made a sign saying happy birthday, Sway. Who are your guys' favorite NHLers?
My favorite NHLers. Well, I did a video the other day on my favorite NHL players, one per team. McAvoy in Boston's one of my favorites. Really like Pastrnak as well. Dallas, you'd be looking at Robertson, Hintz, Pavelski, Heiskanen, Ottinger, Swayman in Boston too. Vancouver, you got Demko, Besser, Miller. Still like Horvat with the Islanders as well. I don't care. I don't care what he said after he left Vancouver. That's up to him. I stay pretty loyal. Like if I like a player in one city, I'll still like him when he goes somewhere else. So when I was a kid and guys would get traded out of Vancouver, I would still cheer for them when they went somewhere else. I'd be really happy for them if they won a cup. So I'm still like that now.
Which player wins every major player award? Also, Shannon, what would you do if Brock Besser won the Rocket Richard? # Besser comeback tour 2023.
I don't think Besser's going to win that. I think Matthews is going to win the Rocket. The Art Ross, I wouldn't be surprised to see Jack Hughes win that. The Norris, I think Cale Makar. The Vezina, based on how things are going right now, I think Swayman might be a favorite for that. And I'd love all the goalie hugs to get there. I think Boston ends up winning the Jennings for goals against. And the Selke's tough because there's so many good two-way forwards in the game. If Barkov can stay healthy, I'd kind of like to see Barkov win that. What else? What other trophies?
I wasn't listening to you, so I don't know.
Oh my gosh. And coach of the year, it'll be some team that's a surprise playoff performer that we didn't expect. Although Cooper's got to get some votes out of Tampa this year. The fact that teams kept their head above water, even with Johansson as their starting goaltender. No offense to Johansson, but it says a lot about Cooper's coaching that the team's still relevant.
We have a happy Thursday to you in Canada, and then we have a happy Friday Eve.
Yep, I've already got the video done for tomorrow's preview. It's right there. 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 3:30, 3:30, 6 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 8:30, 8:30, 10 o'clock. So see what I mean? There's it's just hockey all day.
Yeah, there is.
So it's going to be a long day for me tomorrow. Long day.
1 o'clock, that'd be 10, yeah?
Yep, 10 a.m.
2 games start at 10.
So I have to film that 11, tonight to post tomorrow morning to the channel.
12. There's 3 games that start at 12 and then 2 at 12:30.
Yep.
My goodness.
Yep.
Oh, there's that might not be a gap. There might be a little gap.
Yeah, there's a
maybe
2.5 hours between those start times. However, that's 8 games that have been played by that point.
Right.
So I don't have time to review 8 games then.
Right.
So fun.
Who remembers THG streaming NHL 20 games during the shutdown? Bad times, but good times. I remember that. I was talking to somebody about that. I had somebody was talking to me about your channel and the live streams, and I was talking about all of the during the shutdown, how we were doing 3 live streams a week.
Yep.
Just to keep people company and to keep us company.
Keep ourselves sane.
Hi guys, Sunday's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Have you ever been to Chicago? Nope. Wrigley Field? Nope. Thoughts on Connor Bedard so far? What's your second favorite?
Bedard's been as expected. He can create offense by himself. He looks good. What was the other part of that at the end there? Second favorite sport. For me to be the NFL, I know that wouldn't be her second favorite sport. Tennis is up Definitely there too. Not. And in terms of playing a sport, for me, my second favorite to play is soccer. So for playing it's soccer, not necessarily my favorite to watch, unless it's the World Cup. Then World Cup is absolutely fantastic.
Oh, Yvonne, what's your favorite jersey in your collection? We know Shannon's.
Well, I just got her that one, so I mean, sexy.
Shannon's pretty excited about me having this jersey.
I was so happy that went on sale on the Arizona Team Store. I was
what
like, oh my gosh, she gets the Space Coyote. You're so lucky.
He might have told me that a few times. He really likes that I wear women's jerseys and I wear the smaller sizes. So in men's, I wear a 42, or I can wear the youth ones, or even in the women's, I can wear, well, whatever size in the women's. So they frequently go really cheap on sale, which is nice. But my favorite jersey, I really like the red Minnesota, and then
useless.
You're useless.
Thanks.
I also really like the Heritage Jets.
Oh, the Heritage Jets is a thing of beauty. Yeah.
Yeah, those would be my favorite.
You've got a bunch of the reverse retros too, though.
I do. I got a bunch of hand-me-down reverse retros.
Okay, now let's not get into who handed what down to who.
I do have a lot of hand-me-down jerseys. Luckily, we're not too different of sizes, so that works out well.
True. What?
If you both move again,
no.
Where will you live in BC?
No.
Veto.
No.
I hate moving. I had a nightmare. Did I tell you the other day I had a nightmare that we had to move and I wasn't packing, and then I started stressing because I hadn't packed and I didn't have enough boxes. No, I'm not moving.
No.
Not doing it. I really like Abbotsford, though. I really like Abbotsford. I chose to live in Abbotsford because I really like it here.
Maple Ridge is really pretty.
It is.
And Coquitlam has some beautiful areas.
Coquitlam is beautiful.
Yeah.
But I like being further away from traffic.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I really wanted to move to Coquitlam. Which is gorgeous out there.
My family is all from Burnaby. And so I like Burnaby. But I like Abbotsford. We're outside of the Vancouver metro, so we don't have the traffic or anything like that. But it does take a while for us to get to Vancouver sometimes. That's Bear.
Yeah.
Abbotsford and Poco are the best places on the mainland. I'd have to agree with that.
I don't know. The Veta River in Chilliwack's pretty nice too, though.
I would not vote Chilliwack in that list of no.
I don't know. I like the Veta River in Chilliwack. It's nice spot.
That is a nice spot in Chilliwack.
I used to like to go there, and Cultus Lake's nice. And Columbia Valley is gorgeous. Have you ever been to the Columbia Valley?
I have, but I wouldn't want to live there.
Absolutely gorgeous.
There's a lot of beautiful places in BC that I would not want to live.
Columbia Valley's like this hidden community way off in the middle of nowhere that nobody knows exists.
Out in the middle of nowhere.
But it's not that far out. It feels far out, and it's really not. It's really great. But because I like Columbia Valley.
Let's see, where am I?
Hey, kitty.
What do you think of Kamloops?
I've only been to Kamloops a couple of times.
Really hot and dry in the summer.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't like hot. I really don't like dry.
I really haven't visited Kamloops. I've just been through there a couple of times, and one of them was the same summer they had the fire. So when I went through there,
there's a fire there every summer.
But this was like
really
just
bad.
Everything as far as you look was charred.
There. Is that 2016?
No, it was before that.
Okay, I think in 2016 there were bad fires out there, though.
It happened before I went to see Rammstein in Edmonton. That was 2011 was when I went to see Edmonton, and I went through there, and the forest was just completely burnt out. And that was almost a year after.
Hey, Shannon, thanks for all the amazing content. Makes my day every time.
Thank you very much.
I heard Surrey is beautiful.
Can be. Surrey's huge.
Surrey's
really
huge.
Depends on the part of Surrey, but it can be. There's parts that are really, really nice.
Surrey's is either city or farmland.
Yep.
So, yeah, a lot of farmland. A lot of awesome restaurants in Surrey.
Cloverdale's considered Surrey, isn't it? Isn't Cloverdale part of Surrey?
Aren't they separate? I think they're separate.
Are they?
No. Kind of like with White Rock separate, but it's like connected.
Well, White Rock's like part of Langley, isn't it?
No, what? How?
Pretty sure White Rock's part of Langley.
How would that even work?
With a map.
Have you looked at a map? Because that's not physically possible.
Sure it is. They're all in BC.
That wouldn't work. Surrey's between the two.
Well, you're going to have to talk to them about it because I already talked to people in that city.
A Surrey native, Surrey has pockets of good, pockets of terrible. That's true.
That's the thing. My whole philosophy has always been: you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and then you have. Well, you could call it the facts of life. Yeah, they are the facts of life. There's a time you have to go and show that you're growing and you're learning about the facts of life. Because when the world never seems to be living up to your dreams, suddenly, you realize the facts of life are all about you.
Are you done?
I'm fine. That happens every time. Every time I hear you take the good, you take the bad, it's right there. It's in my head and facts of life. So you're welcome. Every single time.
Don't worry. Shannon does actually know where White Rock is. He just thinks he's funny.
It's in Vancouver, right? Because it's on the ocean and the ocean's in Vancouver. So, well, it's ocean right there. That's why you go out on the pier. You only have piers and oceans. It's a dock if it's in a lake. It's a pier if it's in the ocean. Right? So,
okay.
It's different.
Anyways.
You guys can write this down and use it for history tests. It works.
Don't.
Or do.
And Oliver Wallstrom for Jack Bean swap makes sense. Both guys could use a fresh start and change of scenery.
I would agree. Wallstrom has a lot of untapped potential. He absolutely does.
Stop changing the map, Shannon. Shannon's geography is terrible. LOL. Right?
It's not.
Have you ever considered moving to another province? Nope.
Nah. No. I graduated.
Provinces have a lot of snow.
When I graduated, that was when everybody in BC was moving to Alberta, and I kept saying,
everybody's still moving to Alberta.
It's like, but you can work in the oil fields. I'm like, yeah, but then I'm in Alberta, so I'd rather not. And then they all came back. They're like, oh, I didn't like it there, and I'm like, well, of course you didn't. It's Alberta.
People are still moving to Alberta though because it's cheaper, and I always respond that same way. But then you live in Alberta.
They're like, well, I'm going to Fort McMurray. Well, that's your first mistake. And I say that as somebody who really likes BC, and that's just,
There's a reason that when people go on holiday to BC, they stay here.
Yeah.
Because it's nice and we don't have
my grandparents did that. My grandparents came out.
I know many people. They're just like, oh, this is nice.
Because my family was from Ontario. There's a lot of them moving out here.
And in the summer, it's not boiling hot.
Yeah.
This is great.
And the bugs, there aren't the bugs like you have back
We don't
east.
have black flies. You have to go up north for that.
Yeah.
Who, in your opinion, are the top 5 head coaches in the NHL?
Cooper in Tampa, Brendamore in Carolina, Cassidy in Vegas. I still miss him in Boston, although I would put Montgomery in the top 5. And just to be controversial, I'd say Tortorella in Philly. Tortorella's got Philly winning games that they probably shouldn't. So I'll go with that top 5.
Stay in BC, beautiful weather. Nothing to worry ever other than making timeless videos.
It really, whatever you want to do is within driving distance.
Yes.
So if you want to go skiing, it's right there, and skating's right. And then sometimes you can.
Where we are an hour from the ocean.
Yeah.
An hour from mountains that we could go snowshoeing right now if we wanted.
Yep.
We've got the American border is really close too, which some people like going down there, not so much anymore.
No, we don't have to cross border.
And we have a ton. Yeah, we have a lot of rivers and lakes and tons of forests and mountains.
Yeah.
Like in Abbotsford, we've got forests in town everywhere.
True.
And lakes and rivers. It's great. Abbotsford's really nice.
For instance, I know I was walking somewhere and I sent her a picture. I was only 10 minutes from our house and she's like, where are you? Because it was like woods and it was a creek. And I'm like, Yeah, this is right near our house. I didn't realize this was here either.
Because we've got forest everywhere.
Because there's so much just around walking distance. So yeah, it's kind of nice here.
We have one forest area that's only like 3 blocks away that I always take my phone just so I don't get lost. Right in the middle of town. And we have a lot of those. And I take my GPS so I don't get lost.
I did that the one time too. Yeah.
Excuse me. Are there a lot of skiers in your area? We live by Whistler. So. Whistler was recently ranked one of the best places to go skiing in Canada.
I know when I was a kid, most of the kids I went to school with went skiing.
Yeah.
Skiing at Hemlock or skiing at
Hemlock's
Manning.
the big one.
Yeah, that's where all the kids went. That's where everybody would always
Manning's really fun to go snowshoeing or sledding. Hemlock, you can go sledding as well.
I never got into skiing because I'm too clumsy, and I figured clumsy combined with really fast speeds on poles at like the and I would die. So I didn't want to die or break all of my legs.
My doctor told me I'm not allowed to go skiing.
Because your husband sucks?
Yeah. When I was 16, they told me not to go skiing because my husband.
That's a weird thing to tell you when you're 16.
Right? What if Houston joins the NHL and becomes the Whalers? The logo would still work. The jersey would sell like hotcakes, and I would instantly become a fan.
Are there whales in Texas?
Where is Houston in Texas?
Are there whaling boats in Houston?
I know Texas is ginormous, but
Houston's
on
the coast. I just don't know if there's whales there.
Are there whales in Texas? You guys can tell us, because I really don't know.
And then you might have an argument from Hartford fans. I think if Houston was going to go retro, they'd go with the Arrows. I think we get the Arrows, and I would be perfectly fine with that. I have a Houston Arrows jersey. It looks fantastic.
If you didn't become THG YouTuber, what do you think you would be doing now?
Crap job.
Still?
I'd still be doing a crap job, probably at the same place or something like it. Because once you're in that day-to-day, the daily grind, it is hard to get out of it.
Somebody asked if you're eating candy corn. Are you eating the candy corn?
No.
Oh, they're licorice.
So it's red licorice, but darn if it's not tasty. I'm used to those in black licorice form.
I like the black licorice ones. I tried one of those. I thought it was too sweet.
It's interesting.
But I'm not a big.
I'm not going to get another bag of them. It's just they're interesting. They're different.
What? Have you been to Alaska? Nope.
Nope.
I've seen movies about it. Been very many places.
No.
We have not traveled very much. How would you do regular season overtime given the vote?
I would want to see it extended to 10 minutes. 3-on-3 is fine. I don't think they need an over and back roll. And after 10 minutes, I'd make it a tie. I don't like the shootout. I've never liked the shootout, but that's just me.
When will you start the Cat Guy channel? We have the other channel. We put cat stuff on there. Sometimes.
Yeah, there's cat videos on the other channel.
People don't usually like me putting cat videos, but
nope. As soon as I post a cat video, I notice subscriber count drops a bit.
I do
every time.
I do restrain myself posting cat videos or bunny videos on there because there are the people that really like it, but there's a lot of people that don't.
Yeah.
They'd much rather listen to Shannon talk and talk and talk.
I'd rather watch bunnies personally, but that's me.
What's the best Canadian candy? Oh, most people really like Coffee Crisp. That's like the number one. Send it to somebody not from Canada.
Nanaimo bars don't count as candy, do they?
No, Nanaimo bars are great. Butter tarts are great, but not candy.
Beaver tails.
Those aren't candy. Canadian chocolate is way better than American chocolate. That's not candy. Yet Smarties are great. Arrows are fantastic. The mint arrows are the best.
What about Alberta?
The cherry blossoms are great. I like the molasses kisses too. Those are really good, but those are Halloween candy.
True.
Mini eggs are really good. All the chocolate, the Canadian chocolate's all good.
That's 100% accurate. That is so true. That is so true.
No, don't start that.
There's a channel we watch, and I realized yesterday when we were watching one of their videos that one of the hosts just chimes in with, that is so true.
It was irritating.
You're so
everything.
right.
They were doing
You're
a list
so right.
video. And
I was like, okay, stop saying that is so true because you're not adding anything to the video. Oh.
Are pickle chips a candy?
Yes.
If they were, they'd be the best candy.
Yes. Pickle chips are absolutely candy. Come on up here. Come on up here. You're not getting my attention from the floor, cat. You're just going to get stepped on. Come on. Come on up here.
Somebody asked what you did before YouTube. Really crappy jobs.
I worked for the last, I worked for 6 months at TradeX here.
Yeah.
Which was okay. It was casual. Attendant. Casual work as a first aid attendant. Prior to that, I was a laborer and a first aid attendant at a meat packing place for about 10 years.
It was awful.
It was not a lot of fun. People don't usually last very long there in Chilliwack. Prior to that, I worked in a call center for 7 years. I had a 6-month stint at 7-Eleven that didn't last that long. And I had 7 years at the
Shannon was a
duck
paid
farm
dancer,
as well.
A nice dancer.
I would have preferred that over the duck farm. The duck farm, when I started there, it was like, oh, nobody ever lasts there. You're not going to last. I was like, oh yeah, I'll prove it to you. Stayed 7 years. All I did was ruin my back and my wrists. I don't know why I was trying so hard to prove myself when I hurt myself in the process, but yeah.
Happy typical Canadian Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Hope you guys are doing well.
Not bad.
Yep.
Not bad. Passable.
Our kids had good school days and
I'm debating though, because tomorrow I wanted to do a video tonight that could post to the channel tomorrow about teams, and how things are going. But the only 2 teams that are off tomorrow are Vegas and Arizona. And I don't know if there's enough to talk about with either of those teams right now. I guess I could talk about Vegas. That might be kind of fun.
Americans think ketchup and all dressed chips are gross. That's not true.
No, not generally.
That's not true.
I think ketchup chips are gross.
But all the Americans that I know really like them. And so I frequently give Americans ketchup chips because they seem to like them, even though I think they're gross. And all dressed chips
are fantastic. They're great.
They are.
That is so true.
The American all dressed chips are not all dressed. They're weird, like vinegary barbecue chips.
Yeah, and they don't have very much flavor.
Different.
They don't have very much flavor.
All American chips don't have very much flavor.
No, comparatively speaking, they don't. We have sent various people chips from Canada to prove our point too.
American pickle chips are really sad.
Oh, they make me just cry.
They are so sad.
I just stand in the parking lot and cry. Oh. Yell back at the store. You call these chips? I demand you put more flavoring on these now.
It's true.
Sternly worded words to the Ruffles company. I just write 2 Ruffles, United States of America, gung ho, and then you just throw that in the. Is
it like mailing to Santa?
Yeah,
it'll just get to him.
Everybody knows where Ruffles is, so they just send it to Ruffles. Corporations are like that in the States. They don't need an address. You just send it to the corporation. U.S. Postal Service can figure it out.
Have a great evening, guys. Gotta go to work, but follow up on the Houston Whalers, Memphis Grizzlies, Utah Jazz. The Whalers in Houston is fine.
Or the LA Lakers, which were the Minnesota Lakers, which made sense because Minnesota was the land of 1,000 lakes. I'm now getting into basketball. Minnesota moved to LA where there aren't any lakes.
The Jazz moved to Utah where they don't have music. I haven't watched that movie.
I have not watched that in a while.
It has to be like at least 10 years.
It's been a while for me. It hasn't been that long for me because I love that movie.
You could do a video comparing NHL teams to a Thanksgiving food item.
Are
there that many food items?
I thought about like a Thanksgiving tie-in for teams, but I've kind of done that before. So, yeah. I've got a couple of ideas. I may finally use this. That's why I pulled this out, because I may finally use this. I got this how many years ago? 5 years ago? 6 years ago?
No. I think you got that like 3 years ago. Because we were at the old house.
I know we
but
were at
not
the
the
old house.
house.
But I think I got this pre-pandemic. So that's 4 years.
Maybe. Was it the last house though? Hey Shannon, what do you do with the Oilers?
Well, the Oilers are in a tough spot because they're at the cap. And so trade out has to be dollar out, dollar in. So personally, if I was running the team, I'd be looking for more help on the blue line and I'd be looking for a goaltender. But easier said than done, because what you need on the blue line, so does about half the league. And what you need in net is not going to be cheap. So that's what I would be looking for. And find a top 6 winger that is capable of producing with McDavid and Draisaitl and can keep up with them. Those are the 3 needs that I think that team has right now.
Shannon has done video, or at least one video, on the Vancouver Riot.
I've done multiple videos on it.
I thought you had done a couple, because people always ask about them.
Mm-hmm.
But like most people, both of us, we're at home.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the people there, we're not there for hockey.
Nope. Same thing in 94. The 94 Riot was the same thing. A friend of mine told me that she was working in fast food, and she had some guys come in and they were talking about, oh, we're going to Vancouver for the party for Game 7. And she's like, oh, you're big Canucks fans. And they said, no, we don't really like hockey. We're just coming down to Vancouver for the party. And they were coming down from the interior. So there are definitely people who were Canuck fans that were doing the writing, but there were definitely people that were there just to cause trouble. So I think if they'd won the cup, we would have had a riot anyways. I don't think it would have mattered. I really don't think it would have mattered. Both 94 and 2011.
America gives us the best whiskey, bourbon.
I'm not a whiskey person. So that's where it gets tricky. I'm not really a whiskey person.
No.
For me, I usually drink the ones that people consider to be kind of girly drinks. So
by girly, you mean taste good?
Like Bailey's. Give me some Bailey's.
Because only girls get to have things that taste good.
I used to love going to the bar, and I'd get the shots that were the electric popsicle was good. I'm gonna have to find out.
Idea what that is.
Find out the it's like blue raspberry. But the Dr. Pepper, I'm gonna have to find out how to do that, because it was you get a beer and you'd throw 3 shots in it, and then it tastes, or 2 or 3 shots in it, and it tastes exactly like a Dr. Pepper.
That's a lot of alcohol.
Well, yeah, you get pretty drunk on it pretty fast. I just don't know what kind of shots they were throwing in there to make it taste like Dr. Pepper. I would absolutely do that at home. We'd obviously scale it down. We just have a can rather than a big mug, and then throw a couple of shots in, and then it's a Dr. Pepper. It's a miracle. Where did the beer go? I don't like beer, but I'll drink the Dr. Peppers.
Just a question: is there any doping control in the NHL? Oh, drug testing?
Yeah. There's testing. It's not as rigorous as it is in other sports. I do think there's players that get around it. I do think that, I mean, it's a sport where, for instance, on the steroids part, I don't know how much that would help unless it's for rehab. For the everyday, day-to-day stuff, I don't know how much that would help their play on the ice, because you have to be fast, not just strong. You have to be fast as well. I don't think it's as much of a problem in hockey as it is in some other sports, but they don't really do that much with it. And if they catch you, then it's this huge problem. I think that they need to be more focused on treatment rather than punishment. And the NHL has always had a problem where it's just punish, and not treat. So that's part of the reason why back in the 80s, guys wouldn't admit they had a drug problem, because they get booted out of the league for it.
Do you believe there's a big difference for a player production from a contract here and after getting a big extension? There's
something to that, but I don't think it's as dramatic as we sometimes make it out to be. There's for instance, with Tyler Myers. He's having his best year right now in Vancouver that he's had in his entire contract. It's a contract year, but he's also stating that he played for Team Canada last spring, and he took some of what he learned playing for Team Canada and brought it into the NHL with him this year. And he credits that with playing better. I don't really care why a player is playing better, as long as he's playing better.
Okay. No, we're not doing ads. There's a beer margarita too. It doesn't taste like beer. It's weird. Didn't we have one of those once years ago? Years ago.
Maybe in Vegas.
I vaguely remember that.
In Vegas, I think.
Don't remember.
Have to be in Vegas. We don't go anywhere we do any drinking here.
No.
In Vegas, we drink very little.
Like two drinks the whole trip.
I think we had 2 drinks that one night, and I woke up with a hangover the next morning. I'm like, holy, like two not like really heavy alcohol drinks. And I wasn't like hammered. I wasn't throwing up or anything. I woke up the next morning with a hangover. I'm like, my body hates alcohol. So that's a good thing. I think my body just does not enjoy it.
Why does YouTube insert ads during a live stream?
So they've been adding them for a while. I've got it set so they're every 24 minutes. You can make it where it's automatic. If you make it automatic, they're a lot more frequent. It's the same with the ads during videos. I try to make sure I go in and I put them in at a good ratio where it's always the same period of time in between, because I've watched videos where YouTube decides where the ads go, and I can tell because it's just random. And they might be every 30 seconds for a couple of minutes, and then they're gone for 20 minutes. And yeah.
We've had that where it'll automatically add them when we have to go in because there's just a ton everywhere.
Yeah. So it's something that they've changed, and it's just part and parcel of YouTube.
Good thing you didn't wake up with a tattoo. Shannon, in my presence, since we've been together, has never been drunk. And there's always me being sober there with him. So
I don't enjoy being drunk.
Never a worry.
I do not enjoy being drunk.
So, yeah, Shannon's never done anything stupid drunk because he doesn't get drunk.
Well, because what I don't like with it is when I can't enunciate what I'm trying to say, and when I know it's not coming out right, and I get frustrated. So I don't enjoy it. I really genuinely don't enjoy it.
What is y'all's favorite Tool song? So you guys saw them live some time ago.
It's Enema Now.
That was my favorite.
It's Enema Now.
Before.
It is, and right? Hearing it live.
That was Shannon's first Tool concert, which I was very excited. I've been wanting to take him to Tool forever because I had only ever gone to Tool concerts without him before I met him. So that was fun. And now I think he appreciates Tool a bit more.
And when they started Enema, like I lost it. I went nuts. I could not believe. I was like, oh, it's Enema. And I told her knowing that she already knew what it was, but I had to say it out loud. Not that I thought she was dumb and didn't know what song it was, but like I was in shock because they changed their set list
as we were driving there. That was when they were like, "Oh, that'd be awesome," but there's no way they're going to play that one.
Yeah, I thought they were going to play Stinkfist. Stinkfist is very good as well. I really enjoy Stinkfist.
I'm okay with
but between Stinkfist and Enema, God, those two together really sound awful.
It does, and I know my mom is going to make some kind of comment.
They're from the same album too,
because she really, really doesn't like Tool. I don't know if she remembers which band Tool is. That was my favorite back in high school, and she really, really didn't like them then.
Now I got Stinkfist stuck in my head.
So I'm sure there's going to be a comment from her about Tool.
But I assume that with Maynard, he stays away from Enema every night because that'd murder his vocal cords.
Yeah,
that song is tough. That one's one of their tougher songs to sing.
Sup, folks.
Word.
I'm new.
Word to your mother.
Yeah, bro. Okay, I'm new to hockey. We have teenage boys. Anyways, I'm new to hockey, and your videos really helped me learn a lot about the game. I really appreciate your welcoming demeanor.
Thank you.
Canes.
Hockey can sometimes be kind of a gatekeeping kind of thing. I know that if you admit you don't know certain plays, what they're about or why, that a long-term hockey fan might be like, how can you not know that? Are you stupid or something? It's so obvious. This guy doesn't understand the sport. And it doesn't do a good job of creating new fans. So I like the idea of helping people become fans of a sport I've liked since I was a little kid.
There. Oh. Okay.
See, she'll fight with her brother.
Yeah, just jumped on his back.
She will fight with her brother. She won't fight with Azrael. Okay, there. No.
Why do you guys go to Vegas so often? Genuine question. Versus Cali or Florida, etc.
It's cheap.
It's
a cheap flight. The hotels are cheap considering what you're getting. Here, the hotels are about the same price.
Yes, we can get a really nice room in Vegas for the same price as a regular hotel here.
I was looking at hotel prices for somebody in Chilliwack because they needed some help with getting a hotel room. And I was like, I could get you a room in Vegas for a third of this price. And you don't have to look at Chilliwack. Like, it's insane. Absolutely insane.
And if we're going to California, I want to go to Disneyland. We went to LA once. I'm good. I've now been there.
Yep.
I don't need to do that again. In Florida, I really don't have a desire to go to Florida unless I go to Disney World. Or, and then we'd have to go to a hockey game. But we're talking in the summer. We go to Vegas in the summer because that's our time that we can go on holiday.
Yep.
Because the kids are busy and occupied, and we don't have to worry about kids, and we can go on a just us holiday. So Vegas is really nice because it's really cheap, and there's a ton of stuff that we can do. They've got all of the shows and everything, and we can just walk around. There's a lot of other places that I think would be cool to go to, like New York.
Oh, I'd love New York.
Would be really fun, and I'm sure it would be fairly similar, but that's a lot longer flight.
Yep.
But I think
3-hour time change and everything.
If we were to go someplace like Vegas where we can get just a hotel and be able to do stuff all around the area, I would think New York would be a good option.
I would love New York.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Right near Times Square? Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. Yvonne, I just want to say how pleasantly surprised I am with the Jets. Right? I appreciate how Shannon has been throwing them a bone in his videos lately.
I never bought the idea that they were mediocre.
I know they have so many good players.
Yep, they're a good team. I never bought the idea that they were mediocre.
Oh, see, there's my mom tool. Sounds hideous. There you go. See, I called it. I don't know if she actually remembers which one tool
I saw somebody asking where I got this jersey from. It was actually a subscriber that sold it to me. There you go, baby.
Has it dawned on you that the Canucks could win the West?
I don't know about winning the West. I playoffs. I just see make the playoffs. I'm not concerned with winning the West. I still think Vegas is the best team in the Pacific. I think that Colorado is going to win a bunch of games as well. So yeah, winning the West is not very likely, but again, playoffs would be great.
Have you ever interviewed an NHL player on your channel?
Nope.
Shannon doesn't interview people.
Nope. I even talked about in a news video today how, the interview process with players is, I don't know what I'd ask. I don't know what I'd, I wouldn't want to ask just the standard typical questions. The only way that I think it would work would be if I had known somebody that played in the NHL and we were friends and we could just sit down and have a chat.
Yeah.
That would be a completely different thing than an interview, but that's the only way that I think that would work. So, if there was an NHL player that wanted to go over to my house and hang out and see some cats and rabbits, all right, cool, but that's not going to happen.
What would you do to turn the Blue Jackets around?
The Blue Jackets are tough. I did see something on Columbus yesterday that I thought was interesting that said there's good players there, but they don't have an identity. And I can't argue against that. Columbus has garnered, a lot of criticism, but I think that the main thing is you need to have a plan for how all this is put together. And I don't know that Columbus, I don't know, it's like all the parts on their own are okay, but then you put them together and it doesn't quite work. It's sort of like when Rachel on Friends is making the trifle and she gets the meat in it. It's sort of like that. It's like the individual parts that constitute the Columbus Blue Jackets are pretty good. You put them all together and you kind of got Rachel's trifle. And it's like, it just doesn't, for some reason, it just doesn't quite, it doesn't work. And you can't find a Joey that wants to, scarf it all down. So it's the best example I can think of. It just, there's good parts there, but they need to find an identity. They need to decide if they're going to be run and gun and a fast team that's hard to play against that way, or if they're going to have a bunch of meat and potatoes type of players that are just, the ones that make you work for it every single night. And they just don't seemingly have their identity.
You have kids and a million pets? True story.
Part of the reason we have the pets. Part of it.
Well,
We'd probably still have the pets without the kids.
I had pets before kids.
I had
kids
a cat.
Made pets more difficult.
I had a cat before.
Kids make most things more difficult.
Yeah,
they do. They really do. They do. Okay, it skipped down.
What did you do?
It skipped, and so
why
I'm
did
just
you
trying
skip?
to make sure. There we go. Just started watching hockey this year. Really appreciate the coverage you bring. Hoping Winnipeg keeps playing well.
I do too.
Agreed.
I do too. They're now listed as the best Canadian team. I think it's TSN's finally got them listed as best Canadian team. Or behind the times on that. I do think of the teams in Canada, the one that might be the most likely to go on a run in the playoffs might be Winnipeg.
Thank you for all the entertainment, Mr. Hockey Guy.
And all the hockey, Mr. Entertainment Guy. Could work both ways. You're very welcome.
Okay, let's see.
Can barely tell it's hair extensions.
What? Pardon me?
I said you can barely tell. It's a compliment.
What are you talking about? I don't have
your extensions.
I don't have time for that. What is this?
He gifted 10 Hockey Guy memberships, meaning that 10 people can now claim memberships.
That's really cool.
Thank you.
I've never seen that.
That's
really neat.
Yeah, that's new now on the channel. That was something that got recently added.
That's really cool.
I think that's one of those things that we get emails from April about. So.
Oh, you mean I'd have to read the emails that were sent?
I did email her back last week. So.
I read emails from people.
Yeah.
Okay. Appreciate that tip about Vegas being cheap. I'm from the Yukon, and seeing Jets games in a cheap fashion is rare. Flights to Vegas are pretty cheap.
Flights to Vegas are cheap because they're what do you call that? What do you call that when the government is paying for
subliminal?
Okay, you know the word.
Subflooring.
You know the word. When they're keeping the price down.
Supplemented?
Yeah, I think that's the one I'm looking for. So they make sure that the price of traveling there is cheaper because they want you to spend your money in Las Vegas. So the advice we always give is, as long as you're not gambling a bunch and drinking a lot, because the drinks are really expensive and so is the gambling, you're in pretty good shape.
And we just don't do others.
Like the price of the shows isn't bad. Subsidized.
You guys are telling him. I was seeing if he'd guess it. The answer is no. Because he does it to me all the time.
No, I don't.
All the time. All the time.
I do not.
All the time.
I wouldn't do that to you.
Whatever. They see how you are.
I would never do
this
that.
This is exactly what he's like when there isn't a camera.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
He's
so
even
hurtful
goofier, I think, without the camera.
This is so hurtful to me as a human.
Whatever. Whatever.
Your head has a shell on it. Tell you.
What's your favorite arena you've been to? It's not very many. So.
I like Rogers. I like Rogers in Vancouver. I like the arena.
Pretty nice.
I think it's a nice arena. I know it's older by NHL standards now because there's so much turnover, but I think it's fine. I think it's a nice arena.
We're here for you, Shannon. Don't let her hurt you.
It's just, she does these things. She accuses me of being mean to her, and I would never do that. I would never
the troublemaker.
Intentionally hold back a name.
Whatever.
Or
all
the
time. All the time.
Or a show title.
Yep.
Or a movie. I would never, when she's saying, what's the name of that song, start throwing the wrong song titles at her to throw her off.
He does.
I wouldn't do that.
All the time.
Would never do that.
And then he will not give me the answer.
Eventually I give you the answer.
Like the next day. All the time.
It's just too entertaining.
Okay. If the Stars, Bruins, and Canucks all folded tomorrow, who would you start rooting for? That would be a crazy scenario. Not sure what would.
So I'd have to stop. I'd have to stop being angry first.
Yeah, that would be
man,
crazy.
That'd catapult Ottawa. Ottawa would probably then be up at number 1. And honestly, I would probably root for Seattle. Seattle's the next closest. So I'd probably find myself rooting for Seattle and Ottawa and wiping tears away from my eyes for the next 6 months because all 3 of my teams went under the same day. It would
be years. He would be upset about that for years and years and years. It'd be like how people are still upset about the Nordiques.
I'm still upset about the Nordiques.
Right? See?
If one of them became the Nordiques, I'd be a little bit better with it. Unless it was the Canucks. I would not want to see them move to... That would suck. To lose the Canucks and they move to Quebec City. That'd be such a conflicted feeling I would have.
I don't know.
I'd be like, I'm glad Quebec got a team back. Why'd they have to take mine? It's not nice. It's like somebody come over. Somebody stole my bike. Well, that's too bad. Can I have your bike? No, because then you'd be taking my bike. I'm sorry that you don't have one, but you don't need mine.
What AAV would you give QB for an 8-year extension?
QB.
I can't even guess. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know.
See, I hear QB and I think of quarterbacks.
Quinn.
Quill.
I don't know.
Quartermain.
Sorry, I don't know.
Quincy Bones.
That's it. Yeah. That's got to be it.
I will say this, that Patterson and Nylander's contracts are going up. Nylander's is going to be well above 10 million a year, I would think. And Patterson's, he's going to end up in the 11 to 12 million range would be my thought.
Any chance the Oilers claim Tompkins off waivers?
No, that would not be an upgrade over Pickard, and then it just leaves them with extra goalies.
Is Florida the favorite for Kane, or can Detroit snag him?
Florida might be the best fit. I've seen that online, and I'll agree that Florida might be the best fit. Detroit would absolutely be in the mix. Kane wants a chance to win. If he thinks Detroit's his best opportunity, that's where he goes. I did mention in the interview yesterday, I'm still kind of on some level rooting for Buffalo because maybe he can help Buffalo get it together.
Quentin Byfield.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed Quentin Byfield. Quentin Byfield, I would say if it's an 8-year extension, based on his play so far, I would think 6.5 million a year based on this year's. But I will say this, I would be very much not surprised if they go with a bridge deal, just because we don't know if this is going to be a 1-year thing or if this is just, how good he can be now.
People are making all sorts of good guesses what QB could have meant.
I hear quarterback. As soon as I hear QB, I think quarterback.
Whoa, hold on. Wait a minute. Timeout. I'm late. The Grail jersey is acquired.
Yeah, I had a subscriber sold it to me and sent it to me. I just didn't tell anybody I was getting it.
Surprise.
Yep.
Shannon was very, very happy about it. Quarantine bats. That's it. That's probably the most likely.
Quarantine Bats would be a great name for a punk band.
That would be a good punk band name.
Quarantine Bats.
I thought 16-2 was a curse in the CFL, but the 1989 and 2023 Grey Cups were amazing. So I'm calling a 16-2 record a boon for the Grey Cup.
And a 16-2 team should win it because that's the team with the best record. So sort of like the President's Trophy curse in the NHL. It's a curse until somebody breaks it.
Oh, goodness. What's your opinion on how Carolina is doing?
They're plugging along. They're not getting wins at the rate that people had expected, but they're still doing well. And I would expect that they're going to be one of the favorites come April to win the Stanley Cup.
Do you prefer the Seattle or Vegas Winter Classic jersey?
Seattle. The Vegas one's nice. It's simple. It does look like it's flipping you off. But I mean, I hadn't really thought about it until I saw that comment online. But yeah, it does look like there's 2 fingers up in the air. Seattle's nice. It's a callback to the Metropolitans, which I had expected. That's part of the reason I have a Metropolitan sweater. So I look forward to getting a Metro's jersey via the Kraken's Winter Classic and comparing them.
Happy over 1 month late Thanksgiving, guys. Thanks.
It is.
Our Thanksgiving was fantastic.
When do you have to go?
I have to leave at about 6.
Okay.
So we're still good. We could do like 15 more minutes. And that
sounds
gives
good.
me enough time to make sure the children have actually got ready and eat food.
It usually involves a lot of yelling and repeating.
Ate food. I hope they ate food.
They didn't eat food.
They don't always, even when I tell them. But Adelaide was in charge, so they may have actually had dinner.
So craft dinner.
What you do is you put the youngest one in charge. Usually works out a lot better than putting the oldest in charge in our house.
What bad team am I most rooting for to make the playoffs? If Buffalo's considered a bad team, I'd love to see them in there, and the Ducks. I never thought I'd see the day I said it, but if the Ducks somehow manage to scrounge together a good season, make the playoffs, I think that'd be great.
Do you still think Ovi will break Gretzky's record?
For me, it's dropped to 50-50 now. I want to see where his numbers are at the end of this season. He's had down years before. He's had years with 30 goals, but this feels different because he's just, I don't know, it's just a bit off. And, once a guy starts looking his age, it can advance very, very quickly. I speak from experience.
Thanks for spending part of Thanksgiving with us south of the border. What do you think of the Rocky movies? Wasn't part of Rocky 4 filmed in Vancouver? Probably.
Yes, Rocky 4, the final fight.
A lot of movies.
The final fight was filmed at the Pacific Coliseum. So it's supposed to be in the Soviet Union.
I knew that.
It's in the Pacific Coliseum. They're all Canadians around that ring. So it's hilarious to watch that movie knowing that. But yeah, it's all Canadians in the crowd.
There are so many movies that are filmed here that they say it's somewhere else.
Jason Takes Manhattan on the SkyTrain.
There's an ad. It doesn't tell us how long the ad is, though. It just says there's an ad.
Oh. Oh, was it the Agrodome where they had it? Because I thought they had it at the Pacific Coliseum.
Oh.
And yeah, Rocky 4. Rocky 4 was good. Yeah, but it's still different.
Right, but they're right there.
Is Huska a good coach? I think so. I think that when it's a new coach coming in, it takes a while. So it can take a while for players to learn the system.
So I just noticed it gave us a little pop-up that there was an ad, but it only stayed up for a moment. So I don't know how long it stays up. But
yeah, we don't have control over that.
Oh, those with ad blockers don't see the ad.
That's true. But we knew that anyways. But that's fine.
Anyways.
There's big YouTubers that use ad blockers.
How many seasons until the Sharks go and win a cup?
Win a cup. They're currently scoring at a 1 point. Where are they on the board there? 1.47 goals per game, and they're allowing 4.32 goals against per game. So I'm going to say it's going to be a while. I'm going to say probably at least 5 years before we're talking about a Stanley Cup with San Jose.
Ads being in live streams are awful. Why does YouTube hate their consumers? Ads are how YouTube and creators are paid.
Yeah.
So yes, ads are crappy, but that's how YouTube makes money, and that's how we make money.
I think
if there were no ads, we wouldn't be able to do YouTube.
I think part of it is the bandwidth used by live streams has to be a lot.
Oh, I'm
so
sure.
they may have been losing money on live streams.
Could be, especially the ones that are really long.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think they were losing money on the live streams, comparatively speaking. I mean, initially they were losing money just in general.
Right. In your opinion, how long will it take before the Sharks are competitive again?
It'll be at least 3 seasons, I would think, before Sharks are really competitive again. They really tore that down, so it does take a while.
Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. Let me ask. Hold on.
Hockey in the New York metro area.
Okay. Why are the Rangers so good and why are the Islanders and Devils so bad?
The Rangers are playing really well in the system under Laviolette. The Islanders, I think the Islanders are always a fringe team. And when there's minor errors going on, it's going to mean they're just flat out going to lose. The Devils, it's the loss of Heischer, the loss of Meyer, and I talked about the Devils in the video today. I think part of their problem is they don't really have that defensive stalwart in their forward group. With Heischer out, that's what Heischer's role is supposed to be too, but they just don't have that defensively sound player.
Napoleon, movie or HBO Spielberg series or both?
We haven't seen either of them, so we don't have an opinion. The Napoleon movie just came out.
Oh, okay.
With Joaquin Phoenix plays Napoleon.
Okay. I didn't know there was a Napoleon movie.
Yeah, they didn't market it very well.
There's a new Disney movie coming out, though. We're going to go see that on Malachi's birthday. They always come out right at Malachi's birthday.
Well, it's already out.
So
I've already started seeing reviews for it.
I know. But we're not seeing it until Malachi's birthday. So that should be fun. Okay, let's see where we are. How many years do you think it'll take for the Flyers to be a contender?
Well, they're in contention for a playoff spot right now. The tricky part is, and I see the articles from various different sites on, here's our progression, here's where we think this team's going to be in 3 years, 4 years. You have to get into contract status, which prospects are going to make it, which ones aren't, free agent additions and exits and all this. It's tough to tell. The one thing I'll say with Philadelphia is under Danny Briere, with Tortorella having his say in this, I don't think it's going to take the Flyers that long.
Oh, it's Shadow.
Yep, Shadow takes a while.
Best game you've ever seen in person?
Best game I've ever seen in person. Man, that's a tough call.
I think that Jets and Canucks game that we went to.
Nope, that wouldn't be my vote.
4 years ago was so fun.
That wouldn't be my vote.
That game was so fun.
I mean, there was the Canucks-Bruins game, the first game we went to, where Boston won that game. I think it was 6-3, but
that was our first NHL
fun.
game.
That was fun. Just I'm watching Chara. That's Tuukka Rask. I'm actually watching this. There's Ryan Miller. These are the players. Just that feeling and just that first NHL game I had seen since 1981. It was insane.
That was fun.
Yep.
What would reaction be if the Oilers somehow managed to be bad enough and win the draft lottery?
Oh, fans would go nuts. If they win a draft lottery and get Celebrini, fans will lose their minds. But still, I mean, if the Oilers are that bad and they end up winning the draft lottery, then they're bad enough to win the draft lottery.
Just want to pop by and say hi. Love your content.
Thank you. Thanks for popping by.
How about those Red Wings?
The Red Wings are so up and down this year. It is a matter of staying consistent, which is the tough part of coming out of the rebuild and proving you're a playoff contender, is having that consistency. But I like the team. I have questions about their goaltending is the one thing with the Wings. Reimer's been good. Husso, a little bit below average at times. We'll see.
Yeah, he just talked about his first NHL game in person,
which was Montreal.
Montreal,
Vancouver back in the 80s. That was I went with my dad to that one. We were behind a lady with a cowbell.
Oh,
and every time Stan Smeal touched the puck, she had to ring the cowbell. Oh my
gosh, that would be awful. That's like hockey game of my nightmares.
It was bad. My dad and I were both hoping for some kind of cramping in her wrist, so she couldn't do it anymore.
I would be very, very upset if we sat by somebody with a cowbell.
Yeah.
First NHL game you watched on TV?
Oh, I have no idea. Hockey, got to remember with me being Canadian, hockey was on TV all the time when I was a little kid. So I know there were Canuck games I watched as far back as, say, I would say probably 1978, 1977. That I didn't get into really watching hockey until the 80-81 season, but I had seen games before that.
Is that a Canucks Dragon?
It is.
How cool is that?
I got this at the last game. I think he's great. I think he's so happy and he looks so happy.
I decided, so next year is Year of the Dragon. So maybe that's why.
Just a happy dragon. I was like, yeah, I'm going to put the happy dragon where Gary was and see if anybody notices. And I haven't seen anybody in the comment section mentioning it either.
I haven't either. No, I have not.
So the Gary Bettman photo is actually, it's kind of hidden in the back. It's not there right now. So instead it's back behind that.
Oh, shoved behind stuff.
It's behind the Calder trophy. So
happy Black Friday Eve, fellow Canadians. Is there anything different tomorrow?
I've already done Black Friday.
Black Friday.
I've already bought Black Friday stuff.
I don't know anywhere that only has that Black Friday is actually Friday.
I've already done Black Friday
shopping. Is there
shopping.
anything?
So
yeah, I haven't seen anything this Black Friday is actually on Friday. I think everything's like all week.
Yeah. Black Friday stuff started, I think, on Monday this week. Was when some of the Black Friday stuff started.
If the Oilers are bad, but the Sharks are worse, will you have another phone call with Bettman over his quandary of who to throw the first pick to?
I could. The Bettman phone calls, I don't make them frequent because I like for them to be a surprise. But yeah, there'll probably be another one. Not too long from now.
What made you guys wear those jerseys?
Well, she just got that one. I just got this one. So I got her this one because it's beautiful.
Shannon really is quite happy with finding me this jersey.
That's great.
He was really excited about me having this jersey.
It's great. I was like, I can get Yvonne a Space Coyote. Yes. It was from the Arizona team store, and I think it was $40.
And I know I haven't worn Arizona in a long time, so.
Right. I got a Space Coyote. I got my Storm jersey, so. Like, we would just be the talk of the town. If we went out right now, you'd have people walking up to you and going, is that a Space Coyote?
I don't think I would.
You were so lucky you have a Space Coyote jersey.
I don't know.
Are you single? And you'd be like, my husband's over there. And they'd be like, wearing the Storm jersey? Damn, you are so lucky. Did he buy you that? And you'd be like, yeah, he bought me this. Man, you got a great husband. He really loves you and cares about you. Okay, peace. And then, that'd be it. Be the end of the conversation.
Nobody talks like that.
Sure that people do. The general public speaks like that.
No, they don't.
They do.
The general population would first off call me bro. 100%.
No, dude.
Bro, you got drip.
I always laugh when people like
it sounds contagious.
When we're watching those dating shows and I hear bro and I'm like, dude, you're talking to a girl. Why'd you just say bro? It's so odd to me.
100%. Vibing.
If you really like her, stop calling her bro. It's weird.
It is. Okay. What has turned around for the Caps in their last 10 games, and what are your thoughts on Spencer Carberry so far?
Carberry's got to be in the running for Coach of the Year. This is a team that still at times looks old and kind of slow in games, but he's got them playing a system. They've got the system. They're working it well. They're not winning games like 8-1, 7-1. They're not that kind of team. They're not going to be able to do that. So he's adapted and they've adapted to a system. As long as they play that system well, they're going to win a lot of games. They're going to surprise people.
Is Keanu Reeves a saint? Probably.
I mean, he's up there. He made some really bad movies along the way too, though. There are some bad movies there. So that knocks him down on the saintly part of things.
Best original name for a future expansion team.
The Swamp Diggers. There you go.
What?
And then their phrase would be, we're going swamp digging, and then people could show up with shovels, digging the swamp. Or people could dress up in swampy kind of gear. So you could have like the camo and the hip waders. Or you could have like plants
people
attached to your hats.
People just wear ghillie suits. A ghillie suit.
Yeah. Be great. That'd be awesome.
Are you guys impressed that I know what a ghillie suit is?
Your face would be camo and swamp digging. So there you go. They might have to be from certain parts of the U.S. though for that name to work, like Jacksonville, the Jacksonville Swamp Diggers. See,
Is it swampy there? I don't know.
It's Florida. I assume a lot of Florida has swamps.
True.
Because
that's
Florida.
True. I would think most of Florida is swampy.
Louisiana got some
swampiness.
Swamp land down there too. I don't know what Mississippi. Mississippi might.
Geography. All the swampiness. Okay.
I know where the states are, so I should get points for that.
I used to know where they all are. Now I know where all of their approximate locations are. I used to know all their capitals.
I think if you gave me a map with all 50 states on it, but without the names on the states, I think I'd do pretty well. I used to be able to do all 50.
I used to, but I was like in grade 3.
Because I would go across I'd go across the top.
That I had them all memorized.
I'd go across the top. I'd go down each coast and across, and then work my way in. Same as like a puzzle. And then I would, okay, this is Utah and Iowa, and I'd go through and I'd be able to get it done.
What are your memory is ridiculous though, so I think that helps. My memory is not.
Well, and I like geography. I took geography in school.
Shannon has a ridiculous memory.
I enjoy geography.
What are the chances that the Oilers lose both McDavid and Draisaitl over the next 2 or 3 years?
One or the other, maybe. I don't think they lose both. I could see where one or the other, when their contract's up, says, I'm gonna test my worth and see what another team might offer me. I don't think they lose both.
Geese are the ideal icon for a hockey team. With his mouth open with its teeth.
So we could do that out of Whitehorse, the Whitehorse geese.
Honkers. Just call them honkers.
Well, no, the honking would be every time there's a goal. You just hear like geese honking really loudly every time. I used to like on NHL games, you could make it where the goal horn was a chicken clucking. That was my favorite goal horn ever. I was like, a clucking chicken, yes. Clucking chicken, yes. So every time I scored, like it was the funniest sounding thing ever.
I can see you thinking that was funny.
This is why when people ask me to rank goal horns, I'm like, I don't think you guys know what my tastes are. You may not want me to, because I think a clucking chicken is perfect. I think that's great.
That's fair. That's fair. My favorite imaginary sports team, Manila Folders.
Out of Manila in the Philippines. That could absolutely work. Could call them the Philly Folders.
NHL in Mexico.
They're going to play a game down there. I know they're talking about doing like a global series in Mexico City. It can't work full time as a hockey team, I wouldn't think.
Financially,
I think it would work. I think you're more likely to see one of the other leagues try it. I think the NFL or the NBA will try it.
Do you think the Canucks will end up being a playoff team? I do have concerns, though.
I hope so. I'm not sold on the depth. I'm not sold on the depth scoring up front. And you're going to have times where your big four aren't going. You're going to need that scoring depth to pick you up. I'm not sold on that with Vancouver right now. And with Soucy out, it's clearly had a negative impact on their blue line. Their blue line depth isn't where you want it to be either.
MLB would try it before them.
They might.
Well, I could see baseball working. With just the money and the exchange rate, that's where I think it would get.
Tickets get really pricey.
Yeah.
Tickets get really, really pricey.
You gotta admit, they're adorable animals. Geese?
The way they hiss.
I wouldn't call them adorable. The babies are pretty cute.
They can be funny.
They're pretty. I wouldn't call them cute or adorable. I wouldn't call geese adorable.
No, and they hiss.
They chase you.
They don't chase me. They know what I used to do for a living, I think.
That's true.
I've never had a goose chase me.
Chase children.
Yep.
Yeah. I wouldn't call geese adorable.
No.
We have a lot of adorable animals. Geese are not one of them. Like this guy right here. That's why there's a reason they're called cobra chickens. So
They're This
Not
is adorable
their
right
adorableness.
here. This is cute.
Hey there, Bun Bun. How are you?
See, if I had a team, I could call it the Licorice. You could be the mascot. Hey, Bun Bun.
Oh, I need to go pretty soon.
Yes.
Swans are nasty as well, and they're huge.
Swans can be pretty rough. I know at the park near where I used to live there, you had the swans, the geese, and the seagulls and the ducks. And so we would try feeding the ducks, but the seagulls eventually came in and took over. So we would throw food to the ducks. Ducks would get it in their mouth. The seagull would take the duck's head, pin it underwater until it spit the food out, and then let the head go and eat the water or eat the food out of the water. And I was like, that's kind of mean. But then the swans would come over and put the run on the seagulls.
Because swans are ginormous. They're so big.
But
They're
that's
like
what they do.
As big as
seagulls will just take a duck's head and pin it underwater until it lets go of food.
That's ridiculous.
It's gonna let it go sooner or
really
later.
Greasy, oily, but oilers aren't ducky. It's true. Did you watch any NFL today?
Nope.
Is Jeff Sanderson the most underrated Sabre?
I mean, I would say he was underrated during his time in Hartford because Hartford wasn't taken as seriously at that time. I mean, Jeff Sanderson was pretty underrated in his career, but he also had consistency issues. I've done a video on his career before. I think part of it was just that he could have a great year one year and the next year he'd be kind of invisible. So I think that was part of it.
A swan wing swat could kill a dog.
Yep. And
I could see that. They're really strong.
Geese can break your arm.
And
geese can break your arm.
Swans are just so big.
Because at the old plant I worked at, we slaughtered ducks and geese. And one guy decided when he was doing the slaughter to pick up the goose by the neck. So the goose just took its wings and just started smacking them.
I've seen people try and do that.
And so everybody just laughed because it's funny. Even though that goose could really do some serious harm, bruised him up pretty good, but looked funny. So
do you have or want an electric vehicle?
I wouldn't mind one.
I would love an electric vehicle.
I wouldn't mind one. I don't know where we'd plug it in. I don't know if we have one here in Abbey. Do we have EV places?
They're all over the place.
Okay. I know they weren't not that long ago.
They're all over. Every grocery store, school, rec center, Canadian Tire has a huge one. They're everywhere. We have plugins everywhere.
EVs are very quiet.
But I wish I had one, but I drive a minivan. We have one vehicle and it's a minivan. So it's a lot of gas driving to Vancouver. Yep. Actually, our minivan's not too bad on gas compared to
the ones we had before.
Yes. Do you think Ullmark is still a tad underrated? Never mentioned in the top 5.
We'll see how the rest of this year pans out. It's looking like Swayman's going to have the starting job from him. At least right now, Swayman's been the better of the two goaltenders. I think Ullmark's top 10. I think part of the reason with top 5 and him not being talked about much is before last season, he had never had a year like that. So I think that's part of it.
We need to go pretty soon. I have to take the children places.
And I have to get videos done for tomorrow so that there's stuff going up on the channel because it's hockey all day.
Watching hockey.
There's not really a break where I can do
be a lot of hockey
reviews. So
or anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just gonna be hockey all day.
All the watching hockey.
It's a lot of hockey. But you know, far worse things I could be doing, like slaughtering ducks and geese or working in the warehouse and all the fun stuff I used to do. So I always keep that in perspective.
That's true.
It's important to keep that in perspective.
Let's see. Shout out to Yvonne from all of us in Idaho. We miss you.
Aw, see, your state misses you so much.
I don't even remember how that got started. I was thinking about that the other day. I do not remember how that got started.
Well, you being from Idaho is how it started. So back in, well, you were born in 1978. So
I was not.
At that point, wasn't it a territory? It wasn't actually a state yet. And then you helped them achieve statehood with your just mere existence. They were like, look, you've got to incorporate us. Look at this beautiful child. And they're like, Yep, 50th state it is, and it was Idaho.
This is not a thing.
Yeah,
I don't remember how.
Yvonne's mere existence.
I really don't remember how it started.
And they were so impressed with her, they actually bumped her birthday years away from 78, so she would stay younger for longer.
That's it. That's what happened.
That's how it worked.
They changed my birthday.
It was magical.
Thank you for having this today.
No problem. Thanks for showing up.
Welcome.
We know that when there's a holiday, not everybody's having like dinner with family and wonderful experience and whatever you see on TV that's all crap. People don't, you don't have a fight with somebody at Thanksgiving, but then you have the aw moment right after, like, I realized I was being a jerk. I was being a jerk too. Bring it in, pal. And then everything's great and gung-ho. And you're so happy. That's not generally how things work with holidays.
No, I'm not from Idaho. That is just a story that Shannon made up so many years ago that I can't remember how it started. My mom, I don't know if she's still on here, has even messaged me before after live streams. What is he talking about? I don't know.
So back in 1978.
Okay. Yeah, and Shannon can absolutely make this stuff up on the spot. And the weird thing is he remembers all of it. He makes up all sorts of random crap, and then he remembers it, so he can just keep on going with the ridiculous stories.
Because I know it's true. I can't forget the truth just because you don't like it. Can't forget these things. It's just there.
The truth of my life before I met you. Right. That's it. That's how that works.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But we do need to go.
But yeah, we do need to go.
To take care of children. I can
hope everybody has a good time today and going forward through the holiday season. And I'll keep my eyes open too for sales with NHL stuff and pass it along to subscribers after I've made sure I've got my cut. Make sure I buy whatever I'm looking at before I share the information.
He does.
Because I've had it before where I'll tell people in a video, hey, there's a sale here on this. And then I go look and I'm like, and everything's sold out. I probably shouldn't have told 300,000 people about that sale.
I saw the sticker on the bottom.
So at any rate, thank you guys for coming out.
Thank you, Shannon and Yvonne, for all that you do. I hope you have a nice night. Sorry, I forgot to tell you happy Thanksgiving a month and a half ago.
No problem. We've totally forgotten all about it. So take care.
We've had holidays since then, so it's okay.
It's all fine. It's all good. It's good. So thanks for coming out, guys, and we will do this again soon enough.